Hello everybody, welcome back to the flight deck. We're down here in Fort Lauderdale, having spent a week in the sunny south. Time to head back home, so we're going to be taking this Air Canada 777. We're flying this flight from Fort Lauderdale, and we're going to Montreal. Fortunately, given the scheduling, it's the best flight for me to get home. Once again, we're flying a real flight that we're on at the time that it is actually going, so hope you enjoy the flight. Let's hop on board. We'll get the 777 set up and ready to go. We're on board at Echo 3. So we're going to start doing our cockpit prep and get everything up. So we'll get the parking brakes on. We'll pop up onto the overhead. Going to come up to the batteries. We'll get the batteries turned on. Bus tie switches are set for auto. Hydraulic panel. We'll make sure our C1 and C2 are both off. On the electrical pumps and on our demand pumps are all off as well. Wipers are off. We're going to come down, make sure that the nav light switches are on. Moving down to the pedestal, we'll ensure that our landing gear lever is down. Speed brakes are forward and down. Flaps are set for 0. Alternate flap selector is off. Parking brakes, we've confirmed, are set. Throttles are in idle cutoff, are in idle, with the reversers forward, and fuel selectors are in cutoff. Coming back up top, we'll turn on the external power on both sides. Aircraft is going to come up and online now. We'll start the APU as well. We'll get our fuel pump here. We'll go off our forward left pump, as it's going to supply power or fuel to the APU. And I'll start the APU. Let's do that again. Just make sure she clicks on her own. There we go. And now we're waiting for the APU to come up online, at which point the secondary power will kick down to available. And we can carry on getting everything set up. So I'm going to go through all the switches, make sure everything is set, and we'll come back for programming in the FMC. We're ready to enter the information into the FMC now, so we're going to go in there. We're going to check our nav data, and for when I'm actually flying the flight, this is accurate. I know it says that a date sim is set to the date of the video that it's come out on, but we're actually okay there. So we're going to come over to our position initialization, and we're going to copy the GPS data in, and there we go. And we can come over to our route now. We're going to request our route from our ops center, KFLL, which is Fort Lauderdale, to CYUL, which is Montreal. That is the correct route, and everything is looking good. I'm looking at my sim brief right now, and the distance is good. And fuel, and everything will be good. So we're going to set our fuel. We're going to set our payload. And we're going to select this route, and we'll wait for it to load in now. We will get the ding when it's ready. There she is. We'll load that information in. And our descent forecast is ready as well. So there's our information, KFLL to CYUL, Air Canada Flight 1005. It's all entered in. We can activate and execute. We're going to go into our VNAV, and we'll get our weather in on our descent page. And we'll load that in. There we go. There's our descent weather all entered in as well. So here's our legs page, and as you can see, we got 4 pages of legs. And we can come up here and do our routing. So over to our departure and arrival. Today we're going to be taking off on runway 10 left, and we're going to be doing the Felix 2 departure. And we're going off through E-Tech. We'll execute that. Quick look at the legs. Climb out. There's the departure over to E-Tech. Go back to our index page here, we're going to go to our arrivals. Today we are arriving into Montreal. Let's just do a quick weather check. Yeah, we're going to be coming in on 24 right. That'll be the ILS for runway 24 right. And we're doing the Carter 5 arrival. And we'll be entering that at Peaburg. We're just going to make sure we got the correct information for the ILS. And that is good. So we will execute that. So as you can see here, when we get to page 8, we're going to have a vectors. That is the vector point. We'll fly slightly past Downval, then we'll make the turn in for Lona and our approach and landing. But all that information is in and is good. Clear the messages. There we go. So we can go into our initialization stuff. So off of the flight plan, our estimated zero fuel weight is going to be 50.6.
Contact Havana Center 124.55.
Actually, no.
Center 135. Pressure 136.
That's the. I made an error. Let me just do this once again. All right, we got the zero fuel weight of 206.6 tons. And that gives us our gross weight. Fuel is good. We're going to come in. Our reserves are going to be. Let's take a quick look at the flight plan. Fuel reserve will be. For some reason, it's calculated that pounds. Just give me a second here.
Wing 1328 cleared direct Alvec. Climb and maintain flight level 350.
Proper number.
Miami Tata 444, can you confirm the frequency? Tata 444, 126.52. 126.52, Tata 444. Center, Buenos Aires, American 1603.
2.9 tons of fuel in the reserve, and we're going to be cruising today at a cruise level of 35,000 feet. So 350 is going to be our flight level. Oh, let's get that accepted first, and 350 will go in for our flight level. That is set. Reserves 2.9. We'll get that set, and that is all good there. And then we can come over to our calculations. So now that we got all that set, we're good to go. We'll get the aircraft information in. That should actually be in kilograms. That is all good. We'll import the weather, and we will do our calculation. So once it's doing a TO2 departure and a self-temp of 45 degrees, that's all entered in now. We'll come over for our takeoff information. Gonna get the winds in first. 080 at 11. There we go. Outside air temperature will be. Let's just get that off of the METAR. Outside air temperature for Fort Lauderdale is 25 degrees. Very nice.
172, clear direct Canoa.
There we go. So with that done, we can come back to page 1. We're going to go with a flaps 5. Center of gravity is entered in, and our takeoff gross weight is estimated to be 236.3. There we go. So that's all in now. We can come over. We do have the display down there, so you can come in to our legs page. We'll get you in there, and that is all entered in. All right, so with that all done, we're going to come down here now and get ready for our departure. So we're going to come over to the aircraft, ground operations. We're going to get that L2 door closed. There we go. And then we're going to arm it. And it is now armed.
Flight 956, contact Miami Center 1.
The door is closed. They'll be able to start pulling everything out and getting us ready to go. So we're going to carry on now that the FMC is all set up. So the main panel is set. That's all good. Barrel reference 3007 is our current barrel.
American 1977 Miami Center, climb and maintain flight level 310. That'll be your final with Miami.
There we go. 3007 is set. We're all good there.
American 172.
Flight directors are now on both sides. We've got Toga Toga is verified auto throttle switches are armed. Our speed is going to be V2 plus 10, which is going to give us a 170 initial minimum climb speed.
Delta 1937 Miami Center, roger.
LNAV VNAV is selected. Heading selector, runway heading for takeoff.
Miami Center, squawk.
Is 096 degrees. This way.
Copa 466 Miami Center, I'll need an odd altitude.
And we're going to set ourselves right up to 380 for our climb out. And that is set. Oxygen mask heaters, dispatch clock is all set. Standby instruments are good. It's working our way down. Landing gear lever is down. Alternate gear selector. Auto brake set to RTO. ICAS is good. Lower center display. Secondary engine instrumentation is up. We're good there.
American 1377.
Again, speed brakes are down and forward flaps are set up. Thrust levers are in idle, reversers are stowed, parking brake is set. Good all the way down to here. Transponder, we're going to set to 556. And we are in standby mode. And we are good there. So, getting ready for our pre-flight. So FCU, CDU is set. We're on takeoff and legs. ECAS is clear. MCP panel is set. Windows and doors are all closed. The APU is on and running. External power is disconnected. Come down to our hydraulic panel now. Right electrical demand is to auto. C1 and C2 electric primary are now both on. We should get a fault on 2, no fault on 1. Left electrical demand is now auto, and C1, C2 air to auto. Seatbelt signs are on, no smoking, no electronic signs are on. Left and right fuel pumps are on. We have no fuel in the center tanks, so we are good there. Beacon will come on. Down to our panel here, we'll do a quick check on the fuel, just confirm, correct, no fuel in the center tanks. Stab trim 4.75. There. Rudders and aileron trim are set, and transponder now goes to transponder XPDR.
American 1977, clear direct Alpha.
Let's call for the jetway to be removed. We'll release the ground power, and we're going to prep for pushback. So once again, we're sitting here in the E-gate at Fort Lauderdale. We got an American on this side of us, a few JetBlue on the other side, United over there. There's a Rouge Continental Southwest just came in. Additional traffic being provided by FSLTL. And they are doing a lot for us in regards to providing some ambient atmosphere, which is very nice. All right, here comes our guy.
Good morning, Miami Center, United 1810, level 370.
And we'll see you as we get ready to taxi.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
So we're going to go tail to the left, nose to the right.
Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All
Brakes are released. Pop up top. So we're set on the engine page down below, and we're going to be starting engine number 2, or the right engine first. Starting engine. APUs come off. Just waiting for that to spool up to about 20%, and then we'll get the fuel added in. Good start. We're going to start the left engine. Over to start.
And number 27 Tango Zulu, Miami Center, roger.
And we'll turn on the fuel.
United 2119, clear direct Alvec.
Fellow Air Canada leaving.
Alvec, United 2119.
Sure where he's pushing us.
Go ahead.
I think we'll get him to stop here. Yeah, before we get pushed back too far, get the brakes on.
Who was asking about 36? American 1503, affirmative for non-radar separation with Havana, 3300 final. Clear wings 1328, contact.
Come on.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
That's what I wanted. GSX is being a little bit iffy today.
Clearing 243 minus 10.
So we're going to pop up top now. The APU will come off.
360.
Generators are all on and everything is good there. Left and right start switches are to normal. Engine anti-ice is all on auto. Packs are up. That is good. Popping down, auto brakes are set to RTO. Flaps to take off, which is going to be 5 degrees. They're set. Flight controls, we'll do our check. Full left, full right, neutral, forward, back, neutral, left rudder, right rudder, neutral. ACAS is clear.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
And we're good. Tug is leaving. Our guys coming out, we'll get the wave, and then we'll be good to head out and start taxiing. All right, we're just pulling up to the hold short line, and American just took off. We got an aircraft coming in to land. We'll do our checks, and once that aircraft sets us down, we can line up.
American 1977, contact Alabama Center
And get ready to go.
12455.
So before takeoff checks, auto brakes are set to RTO, flaps are verified, set 5 degrees for takeoff, speed brakes down and forward, transponder is now set TARA, weather radar is on, and traffic is on both sides. You can see the inbound traffic now. MCP is set 170, 096 and 38,000 feet. Auto throttles are set FMA, Togo Toga, and then LNAV, VNAV are armed. CDU pages, takeoff reference, and legs page are set. ECAS is good. Auto brakes, auto doors, and passenger signs are on. Cabin is notified. So we'll come up now. We'll get the lights on, turn off lights, strobes are all on. There's that aircraft coming in to land. As soon as he's down, we'll pull out and get ready to go. Okay, that was Spirit Airlines there, so we're going to pull out now. We'll get ourselves out and lined up. I don't see any other lights coming in, so we should be good.
Sierra, join Quebec, 87, Savannah, Victor, India, Yankee, Alpha, Papa, and then
As soon as he is clear of the active,
Alpha, rest of route unchanged.
we will roll. And we'll be on our way to Montreal.
Green, Golfo, Romeo, India, Delta, Sierra, Quebec, 87, Ayat, Sierra, Papa, Alpha.
Lock the 626, I will need an odd altitude, they request.
350, Alexa, 626.
Lock the 626, you can expect it.
Center, good morning, Hotel Tango Sierra 68 with you, flight level 3.
Alright, looks like he is clear. I have no traffic on the runway. That's just the checklist. I got paper checklists, as I've said before, that I use, so I'm not worried about that. Alright, we are lined up. Clock is running. We're going to bring the engines up to about 50%.
135.1.
135.1, American 172. Have a great day.
Thank you, too.
As soon as the crossing aircraft clears, there we go. Brakes are released. Takeoff power is set. Check. We're going to ignore that Spirit pulling out in front of us.
80 knots.
Check.
Miami Center, American.
I don't know why they're using this as a turnaround point, but so be it.
American 243, Miami Center, good morning.
You want to rotate?
Hotel Tango Sierra 68,
Gear up.
cleared direct Alvec, and actually just cleared direct Alvec.
Sierra direct, Alvec, Hotel Tango Sierra 68.
number 300 Charlie, Quebec, cleared direct Canoa.
And autopilot is on.
For 300 Charlie, Quebec.
American 243, cleared direct Camper.
Accelerating up to 240 knots.
243 sig.
American 243, cleared direct Camper.
As
Pop
we
out
head
for Mike
out
Papa Romeo.
on the departure.
Okay, direct
200
camper,
knots, we'll go flaps 1.
243, thank you.
And flaps up.
Delta 1937, contact Havana Center 124.5.
We're going to turn on the weather radar. We have the weather radar on. Just to make sure there are some sort of dark clouds here.
Delta 1898, contact Havana
See how that's
Center,
looking. Some speeds coming up to 250 knots.
2455, Delta 1898, good day.
Alright, so landing gear is verified up, flaps are verified up, auto brakes are off, engine anti-ice is in auto, transponder is TARA. Coming up to 5,000 feet.
Thank you.
And we're making our turn to start heading northeastwards up towards Montreal.
Southwest 912, Miami Center. I will need an odd altitude, say request.
390, please.
Southwest 912, no complaints from the one aircraft I've had at 39 today.
Take 390, Southwest 912.
So as we settle in for the flight, we'll give you some views on the way out. Hope you enjoy, and we will pick up as we're descending into Montreal. See you then.
Eastern 22.
Welcome back to the cockpit. We're descending through 17,000 feet, coming into the Montreal area. Weather has the winds 228 knots. We're going to be keeping with 24 right for our arrival. 7 degrees currently, and it is reporting an overcast layer, although it's pretty high, so it shouldn't interfere with the landing at all. 15 to 18,000 feet. I think we can see it ahead, but we're going to be under it by the time we get there. Got a little bit of traffic in the area. As you can see, we're going to be coming in, making a right-hand turn. We'll be dropping down to our platform altitude of 3,000 feet, and then we're going to swing around and pick up the ILS. In case of a missed approach, we're going to climb heading 3,000, or climb up to 3,000 feet, heading 237, and then we're going to be turning right to the YUL VOR. The YUL VOR we've got dialed in right here, as you can see, and it is there as a reference. That's the thick arrow right there. So if we have to head there, it will not be an issue.
5 Charlie Papa New Center radar contact call 470.
So we'll reset our altitude to 3,000 feet. Actually, we won't have to reset it. We'll already be there. We'll reset our heading. Make sure it's on 237 once we've intercepted the localizer, in case we do need it. MSA for the quarter we would be in would be 3,300 feet, but that's fine. We're just following the procedure here, and then 3,000 feet for the rest of it. It is a little hilly north of Montreal, so That's why it's a slightly higher elevation there. But most of the hills start further north of the VOR, so that won't be an issue. Coming out nicely, we got a plane about 17 miles ahead of us inbound on the same arrival. Everything is looking good.
20 to the left for traffic, CYUL.
We're on the arrival right now. We got on it at Peaburg. We're heading to Lats at the moment. We have to be above 11,000 feet there, as we can see by the restriction.
10 degrees left of American 121.
Actually, it says below 11,000 feet. 11,000 below.
Emergence left 41, 25.5.
And we're just going to keep heading down along our path and following the speed restrictions as we hit them. So we got a 220 at Dunlop, 210 at Sildo, and then after Val, we'll extend out slightly and then make the turn inbound and get ready for our landing. And in a couple minutes, we're going to cross out of the United States and into Canadian airspace.
Final 733, contact Montreal Terminal 120, 42, 20, 42.
2042, final 73.
We're looking good. Of course, we got the St. Lawrence Seaway coming up. And Montreal is on the islands in the Seaway.
But
the weather's looking fairly decent for mid-end November, so I'm not expecting any issues on landing. Alright, so 10,000 feet coming up. We're going to bring our speed back to 250. And once we get below 265, we can dump flaps 1. And that'll help. There's 265 flaps 1 coming in. 10,000 feet. We'll get our lights on, runway turnoff lights. And we're all good there. We'll give them another ding in the back as we come through 10,000 feet. Got a little bit of an outside view here. Again, weather's looking very nice. And this is the first of 2 flights today. We still got to get back to Toronto. So a couple hours after landing, we'll be taking another Air Canada flight from Montreal down to Toronto. Alright, so speed's holding at 250. We have a 220 restriction at Dunlop, which is 12 miles away. So we're going to get ourselves set up for that. About 8 miles out, we'll bring our speed back to 220. And we'll start down. Looks like we got a little bit of a sim freeze going.
And
still hear the sound, so I'm not too worried about the sim.
Turbulence request 340, please.
Should release in a second. There we go. I do have scenery from Montreal. Don't know if that had anything to do with that, but it's a little annoying. So we're hitting the 25-mile ring. And as you can see, the VOR that we would hold at if we have a missed approach is 34 miles away.
6030 down to 4,000, 5147.
Our flight time today was scheduled for 3 hours and 9 minutes in the air. Cabin's ready. We're currently at 2 hours 55 and 3:37 block time. We're not doing too bad. as we come in. Alright, so there's 8 miles out of Dunlop, so we're going to bring our speed down to 220 now. Let the aircraft start slowing down. And as you can see, at 245 we'll go flaps 10, at 230 we'll go flaps 15.
Dashboard 2473, flighting 075.
075, dashboard 2473.
Roger.
You can see the big main island for Montreal. There's another one north of that, and then the mainland starts again after that. Alright, we're still holding 250, so I'm going to give her a little bit of speed brake, help get that speed down.
Where's it? 212, turn right, flying 150.
150, should 212.
Okay, there's 245, flaps 5.
France 346 Juliet, contact Montreal Tower 119.
It's Montreal, the airport's over there. Downtown Montreal.
Jet 212, turn right, 210 intercept, get ILS runway 24 right approach.
210 for the intercept, put the ILS 24 right approach, shit, 212.
Roger.
And we're below 230, so flaps going to flaps 15. Bring the speed brakes in, see where we end up sitting. And there's 220 knots. So Sildo is 210, and that's out over here. See, 8 miles out, we have that other traffic. It may become an issue. We'll keep an eye on that.
Present speed and descent 5,000, airspring 508.
Sure.
50733, proceed direct hit.
Direct hit, 50733.
Fox 2 miles, final 24 right.
So we're through the first week of December. Still no snow on the ground. And we're looking good at the moment. That'll change. And we'll hopefully get some good Canadian scenery here with the snow on the ground once we get a little bit deeper into the winter. So everything is set. Barrel minimums are set for 306 feet.
733, descend 5,000.
We're going to be doing a flaps 30 landing with a reference of 139. ILS is all set. Auto brakes are set to 2. Alright, we come in now and we'll arm our speed brakes.
923, West 212.
5147, turn left heading 340, descend up 3,000.
Left turn 340 to 3,000, pick 147.
Alright, there's a turn.
473, number 1, runway 24 left, contact Montreal Tower 119, decimal 9, get in.
Roll for 24 left, 119, 9 dashport 2473.
Yeah, the other traffic's around here somewhere. We can clear them if they get too close. Now I think that on this island there's a park called La Ronde. It's probably one of the worst parks I've ever been to, actually. It's a concrete jungle. Anyway, there's an aircraft there heading in for 24 right. Don't see him. Coming up somewhere over here. That's looking good. We're heading down to 3,000 feet. We're going to be at 3,000 feet by Ombal. And we're going to swing around and slot in. Alright, speed's coming back to 210. And at 210, we can go to flaps 20. We're below 225. So flaps 20. Flaps 20 selected. There's the Olympic Stadium. Pretty famous landmark for Montreal from the '76 Olympics.
Vire à droite pour les 4140.
RF40, Canada 2.
All right, we're heading down to, again, 3,000 feet. We should be there at Enval. And then we'll come and make the turn inwards.
5147, contact Montreal Tower 119.3. Good day.
And again, we can clear this other traffic if they're in the way. If we do that now, we'll give it a quick
Canada 871, descend of 4,000.
remove, see if that gets rid of anything. No, nothing's close enough to interfere at the moment. We're in the eastern townships in Montreal. 1.5 miles. Looks like they got a string of aircraft coming around. 3,000 feet coming up.
125,
Airsprint 508, descend 4,000.
Descend 4,000, Airsprint 508.
And center, final 72221, correction, 25156.
And there we go. We're now on vectors.
No problem, final 72.
Thanks for the help.
Roger.
Right. So we'll bring our heading around. We'll go into heading mode.
Montreal 86 Heavy, descending 8,000.
Swiss 86 Heavy, Montreal Terminal, runway 24 right, altimeter 29908, descend and maintain 6,000.
29998, landing runway 24 right, descending to 6,000.
We're going to have this aircraft going past. Should be just out there now. So we'll begin our turn.
Montréal Canada 1251, 205 en descente.
Canada 251, terminal Montréal, bonjour, plus 2 4 droite, attitude 2998.
Let's keep that coming around.
2998, on a Mike Canada 251, vérifie les talons.
Roger. Canada 871,
So, but their localizer is showing.
Runway 24 right approach.
3,000, cleared for the LS 24 right approach, Air Canada 871.
Air Canada 272, contactez la Tour de Montréal, fréquence 19, décimal 3.
19 Canada 272, bonjour.
Au revoir.
Final 733.
All right, we're going to head in now. And we'll pick it up. So we're going to come over. We'll arm the localizer. We'll maintain 210 knots until we're established. We're then going to go back to 185.
Canada 251, descendez 8 les pieds.
For the actual final approach.
Air Canada 1251, descendez maintenant 8 les pieds.
128 les pieds, Air Canada 251.
Roger. Swiss 86, descend, maintain 4,000.
Right, so I don't know if that other traffic is on the approach or not. Doesn't seem to be. He's heading south of the approach track and not moving towards the airport. It could be a helicopter. There's localizer. And headings over to 237. 3,000 feet is set. We're going to come around now, head inbound.
060 pour le développement Romeo, on fait attention au trafic.
And there we go. Glide slope is showing. I'm going to switch over to approach mode. Glide slope is armed. Holding at 3,000 feet. So we'll go through our checks here. Lights are all on. Cabin is notified and ready. We got our nav and beacon lights on. NTS is an auto.
Takeoff, runway 24 left.
Takeoff 24 left,
Lock green, we're on VNAV path, maintaining 3,000 feet with the glide slope armed.
They'll be proceeding behind you for general aviation.
And an aircraft down here somewhere. See him on TCAS.
Canadair, they're departing for 24 left.
Oh, there he is. He's actually above us. There he is there.
Lanyard discretion, etc. Report on.
Flying across our path. The other one's kind of holding in front of us. He must be going in on the left runway.
Okay, keep the
That's why he's kind of offset from us. Airport's directly ahead. I can see the two runways here. Don't see the traffic. There's the Olympic Stadium again.
3715. Good afternoon. Wind 22.
Downtown Montreal. And that right there is Mount Royal, where Montreal gets its name from. Yeah, he looks like he's lining up on that one as well. Oh, there's some lights. Looks like we're all good. So glide slope coming in. We're going to bring her back to 185. And there we go. On the glide slope, gear down. We're getting the advisory, which is fine, as we are, he's coming in on the other one. Actually, he's getting a little bit close, so we'll make him go away. And that's FSLTL. It does its thing, doesn't realize we're here. Right, there's 2,000 feet, so we want to come down on our speed to 144. All right, 140 set, speed down, gear 3 green. Flaps 25, we're below 200 knots. Flaps 25 set. All right, we're looking good off that side. And flaps full. All right, we're looking good coming into Montreal here. This is the longer of the two runways, so good for aircraft our size. So gear down 3 green, flaps full, lights are all on, cabin notified, runway in sight, and runway is identified.
1,000.
Again, 1,000 to go. Aircraft is stable. We're going to be looking at exiting off at either Bravo 2 or Bravo 4. See which one we get to. Probably going to be Bravo 4. That's the checklist yelling at us. And it's not complete. It's fine. We'll clear the caution. I'm wondering if not completing that checklist is what was causing that issue with the V speeds on takeoff. We'll see.
I've got medevac inbound for 24 left. Yes, sir. We're able. 610, departures airborne.
Okay, we're below 500 feet. Autopilot off. I have control.
Sierra Oscar Whiskey la tour.
Slight left crosswind,
Sierra Oscar
not too bad.
Whiskey, faites un 360 autour du stade, dans un medevac à la hauteur du Mont-Royal qui est en descente de 24 tours. OK. Merci.
Minimums.
Continue.
Sierra Oscar Whiskey, je vois qu'il vire là maintenant pour la base, donc vous pouvez continuer.
100.
Oscar Whiskey, je termine là. OK. Sierra Oscar Whiskey, trafic mentionné, là, c'est un Learjet au-dessus de la croix du Mont-Royal, là, une bande pour la
20. 10.
Victor, 3715, taxi Bravo 4, crossing Charlie taxiway, contact apron.
Hey, gear down, speed brakes deployed.
Hi, Bravo 4,
Reverse green.
taxiway Charlie, apron 2227, Victor 3715. Yep.
Manual brakes.
Attends, Montréal, bon après-midi, c'est Kinetic 911, Medevac avec vous, c'est visuel de 4 gauche.
Kinetic 911,
Reverse is disengaged. There we are at Bravo 4.
Donc, enterré 2-4 gauche, le débit d'eau est approuvé chez Honeycomb pour...
Alright, welcome to Montreal.
Kinetic 911, Medevac, quelle agence?
Aviation, etc.
Merci.
Et bonjour, vers 7969 à l'écart.
7969, trafic Medevac.
Looks like we got an Air France in.
Final.
Another big Air Canada.
Affirmatif, vers 7969.
7969, virez à droite, cap 285, gardez la fréquence, autos à décoller.
Alright, we're gonna cross that line.
Autorisé à décoller sur le et à droite 285.
Speed brakes down, flaps coming up.
Trafic dans la chute avec un virage par la droite. On vérifie.
Oh, there's Molly. Hang on a second. Right, you must have heard something. Okay, so we'll come up here. Landing lights are off. Turn off lights are off. Taxi on. Strobe lights are off. That's good. Beacon and navs are on. Speed brake is down and forward. Auto brakes are off. Flaps are up. Transponder over to XPDR.
Alpha 7, 9.
APU, we're going to pop up and start that. There we go. Anti-ice as required. And we'll leave it on auto. Weather radar is now off. So we're going to taxi in. We're looking for gate, probably 50, 51, somewhere down in this area over here. So let's see what it'll give us. Sorry about that. Molly's hearing things outside. The heavy gate 51 is the one we want. And now it's going to be Air Canada handling us. So we're going to head out there now. I don't know why that keeps popping over there. It's because where I left the view. All right. Let's taxi in. I'll see you at the gate. Well, we got resent to 52. So we'll get the aircraft in and parked up. Almost there. And here we are. So, come down now. We'll hit the parking brake. And we'll get some of the ground operation stuff moving. APU is confirmed up and running. AP generators are on. Fuel control switches will come down now. Shut off the engines.
Taxi on the west lane, nose ramp, hold short, Delta.
Back up top, the electric hydraulic pumps will now come off. Fuel pumps will all come off. Anti-ice will all go off. Passenger signs can come off. Turns are off. That's all off. Flight directors and transponder off and over to standby. And we can come over here now. We can set the chocks. We will get our connection in. There we go. Should get it coming in the rest of the way. There she is. And now we can come down to our doors. We can disarm L2 and open it up. And there we go. So thank you all very much for flying with us today.
You are currently parked at the wrong parking position.
We'll ignore that. Thanks for coming along. As you can see, it's busy here in Montreal, but it's the first of 2 flights today. Hope we'll see you on the second one. Take care. Bye for now.